Alright, continuing with our semester exam review. The exam is coming up in a few days, so we're going to pick this up and continue with question 44 here. It says, on a graph below, one grid line is equal to 1 unit. So write the equation for each line showed on the grid above. So A says line K. So we have line K, which is right here. And in order to get our equation, we need two things. We need our slope and we need the y-intercept. Well, this equation starts here, so it starts at -4. So the y-intercept is -4. And then we know we have a couple points on this graph. So the slope, it goes up 1, 2, right 1, up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. So we know that for line K, the slope is 2 over 1, and we started at -4. So our equation is y equals 2x minus 4. The next line asks us for line M. So when we look at line M, here's line M. I'll do line M in red. It starts here, and we have a couple points. So we can see our points right here for line M. And we do the same thing. So we know that it starts at 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know that our B is 4. And then down 1, 1, 2, down 1, 1, 2. So our slope is -1/2. So our equation is y equals -1/2 x plus 4. Let's change this so we get line N. So line N is right here. So we have that same y-intercept as line K. So we know that our B is -4. At a couple points goes up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2. So our slope, up 1, right 2. So our equation, y equals 1/2 x minus 4. And then the last one, line P. So line P is this line going down. So it has a y-intercept of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one goes down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1. So it has a slope, -2 over 1, and a y-intercept of 4. Y equals -2x plus 4. So that's how we write our equations for each of these lines. So if we look at question 45, look at the graph. What is the slope and y-intercept of the line? We know that the y-intercept, 1, 2, it starts at 4, so it has a y-intercept of 4. So all of these choices has a y-intercept of 4. And then our slope, it goes down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1. So down 2, right 1 means our slope is -2. So the answer would be D. Slope -2, y-intercept of 4. 46 through 49, write the equation of the line. So pass through the point 0, 6 with a slope of 3. Well, if we just look at this, we know that the y-intercept is 6, because in order to find the y-intercept, you put 0 in for x. So if we know that our b value is 6, we can easily write our equation, but let's just think we didn't know that. So what we do know is that we have y equals mx plus b. So we have y equals mx plus b. We know that the x value is 0, the y value is 6, and the m is 3. So we plug all these values in, so we get 6 equals 3 times 0 plus b. 3 times 0 is just 0, so 6 is equal to b. So once we find our b, we can write our equation. Y equals slope of 3, so it's 3x. B is 6 plus 6. So now it passes to the point -2, 3. So we know that this is x, this is y, with a slope of 1/2. Well, once again, we have y equals mx plus b. The y value is 3. The slope is 1/2. The x is -2 plus our b. Now we do 1/2 times negative 2. Well, half of negative 2 is negative 1. So 3 equals negative 1 plus b. Add 1, so 4 equals b. So now we got our value for b, so we can easily write our equation. Y equals the slope, which is 1/2, so 1/2 x plus 4, since that is our y-intercept. When we look at number 48, has a slope of negative 2 and a y-intercept of 4. Simply, it tells us our slope, so it says m equals negative 2, b equals 4, y equals negative 2x plus 4. And then for 49, pass through the points 2, negative 5, 8, 13. Well, the first thing we have to do here is find the slope. So we have to find the slope. Well, we know that slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we have 13 minus negative 5 over 8 minus 2. 13 minus negative 5, that becomes plus. That's 18. And 8 minus 2 is 6. 18 divided by 6 is 3. So we know that the slope, or m, is equal to 3. So m equals 3. So that's the first part. Now we go back, since we know the slope, we select one of these 2 points. So I'm going to change my color, and we select one of these. I'm going to choose, I guess I'll choose this one, so we avoid using the negative 5. So I know that 8 is my x, 13 is my y, and I have my equation y equals mx plus b. Well, I plug in 13 for y, so 13 equals 3, and 8 is my x, so 3 times 8 plus b. So 3 times 8 is 24, 13 equals 24 plus b. Subtract 24 from both sides, and b equals negative 11. So we have our b, we have our m, so we have m, we have b, so we can put it all together. Y equals 3x minus 11. Y equals mx plus b. We continue. Question number 50. Just waiting for the page to load. Alright, question number 50 says Great Oak State Park charges $10 admission to its camping area and $1.50 per night. Well, we know it's $10 admission. And then the other important thing is $1.50 per night. Write an equation, so make sure we have to write an equation. It's something that a lot of us forget to do, to represent the total cost of camping at Great Oaks for the number of nights. So our cost, the cost is going to be equal to how many nights we camp, and it's $1.50 per night, so that's $1.50 N, plus we also have to pay that extra $10. Now another acceptable answer here would also be y equals $1.50 X plus 10, where y represents the cost and x represents the number of nights. Jamal camps at Great Oaks for 3 nights. What's his total cost? Well, we know that n is equal to 3 because he's there for 3 nights. So we just plug in 3 for n. So the cost equals $1.50 times 3 plus 10. And $1.50 times 3 is $4.50. So the cost is $4.50 plus the $10. So the total cost is going to equal $14.50. So the total cost is $14.50. Janice has $31. What's the maximum number of nights she can camp at Great Oaks? Well, she has a total of $31, so that's our total cost. So we're going to say $31 is equal to $1.50 per night plus the $10. Now we can solve this. Well, we want to get n all by itself, so we subtract 10, subtract our 10, 21 equals $1.50 n, and then we divide by $1.50, And 21 divided by $1.50. So we'll just use our calculator real quick. 21 divided by 1.5, 14. So we know that n equals 14. So Janice can camp for 14 nights. So Janice can camp for 14 nights. 51, 52, it says solve each equation for y. So we don't want to get y all by itself, so we have to get rid of x first. So we add 3x to both sides. Cross that off. I bring down my 4y. I don't know what 8 plus 3x is. I can't do it. They are not like terms, so I just simply write 3x plus 8 divide by 4. Now we're going to divide each of these by 4. So we get y equals 3 divided by 4. We can just leave it as 3/4 x, and 8 divided by 4 is 2 plus 2. 52x plus 2y equals 10. Once again, we want to solve this for y, so we got to get rid of that x. Subtract the x. Subtract the x. Bring down the 2y. So 10 minus x, we can just simply say that's negative x plus 10. We want slope-intercept form y equals mx plus b. We like to have that x come first. That's why we write the x first. And then we divide by 2. And make sure we divide each term by 2. So y equals, well, negative x. Well, I'm going to say that's negative 1x. So it's negative 1/2 x. And 10 divided by 2 is 5. Plus 5. So 53 and 54, we have our ordered pairs. They're all on the same line. It says, what's the x-intercept of the line? Use math to explain how you determine your answer. Well, when we look at this, we know that for the x-intercept, we know that the 0, the y value will equal 0. So we know that our y value has to be 0. So to find the x-intercept, we put 0 in for y. And for y. So when we look at this, well, if you notice this pattern, if you look at your y value, it's 12, 9, 6, 3. Then it's going to come to be 0. So the y value will be 0. Well, if we put 0 in for y, well, my x value goes 2, 4, 6, 8. Then the x value is counting up by 2, so it's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So the x-intercept is 10. The x-intercept is 10. Now the other thing, we could also write our equation of the line. So if we write our equation of the line, we need to find the slope. So I'm going to write the equation of the line on the side over here. So we'll write our equation. So to find our equation, we want y equals mx plus b. We need to find these values. So we can find the slope by looking at this, and we know that slope, the m, is y over x. So the change in y over the change in x. So y is going down by 3. So y is going down by 3. X is going up by 2. So we know that our slope is negative 3 over 2. And then we can just select a point. So if I select this first point, 2 and 12. So I plug in 12 for my y, negative 3 over 2 times 2 plus b. So now I'm just solving for b. Well, negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Negative 6 divided by 2, negative 3. 12 equals negative 3 plus b. And now we add 3 to both sides. So we get 15 is equal to b. So now we have our equation. Our equation is y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 15. Now what we were saying before is to find to find the x-intercept, we put 0 in for y. So the other way that we can do this is we can just plug in 0 for y. So we say 0 equals negative 3 over 2x plus 15. And now we can simply solve this equation. Subtract 15. Subtract 15. Negative 15 equals negative 3 over 2x. Now we have a fraction. To get rid of the fraction, we get rid of that denominator, so we need to multiply both sides by 2. So 2's cross off, times 2. 15 times, negative 15 times 2 will give us negative 30. So I'm going to write this over here. Negative 30 equals 3, negative 3x. And we divide by negative 3. So 10 is equal to x. And that's how we get the x-intercept. So two different ways we get the same answer. So both ways will give us 10. And then 54 says, what is the y-intercept? Well, what we know about the y-intercept, to find the y-intercept, we put 0 in for x. So to find the y-intercept, we put 0 in for x. So we just plug in 0 for x. So once again, we can do this one of two ways. We have our equation, which is y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 15. If we plug in 0 for x, well, 0 times negative 3 over 2 is going to cross off, so we're going to be left with y equals 15. So we know that the y-intercept is 15, or if we look at our points over here, erase that, and I can look at my x values now. Well, if we look at our x values, 8, 6, 4, 2, well, the next point is going to be 0. And then we look at the y's, change this color, 3, 6, 9, 12, well, that's going to be 15. So we get our y-intercept of 0, 15. So the y-intercept is 15. So two different ways, both ways are fine. We can write our equation, put 0 in for y, or 0 in for x, get the y-intercept, or we can extend the table or the ordered pairs to get our y-intercept. 55, the table shows the value of a lawnmower. What was the value of the lawnmower when it was purchased? Well, what this is asking us for is the value when it was purchased. So this is really asking us for our starting point. So it's saying our starting point. And we know that the starting point is the y-intercept. So if we look at our table and we just extend it, well, at 1 year was 210. Well, if I want to go at 0 years, so or start with the y-intercept, so at 0 years, all right, the value, well, we notice that it's going down by 30. So it's going minus 30, minus 30. Well, if we need to subtract 30, that's going to be 240. So 240 minus 30 is 210. So at 0 years, the value was $240. So what we really did was we found our y-intercept. We found our starting point, which is the y-intercept. So at 0 years, the value was $240. And then if we look at 50 or part B, when will the value of the lawnmower be 0? Well, this is saying that the value is 0. So the value is 0. So what we're looking for is our x-intercept. All right, so we need to find the x-intercept. So once again, we can just extend this table to 120, 90. It's going down by 30, so 60, 30, and then 0. So if we look 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So after 8 years, the value of the lawnmower was $0. So after 8 years, the value was $0. If we look at 56, Jay collects baseball cards. His father gave him some cards to start his collection. Each year his uncle gives him new cards, the same number each year. A function for the number of cards he has after t years is given by the equation c of t equals 40 plus 15t. What is the meaning of the 15 in this function? Well, if we know that, here's our 15. 15 is with our variable with the t, so the 15 represents the slope. So the 15 represents the slope, and in this problem, the slope is how many cards he's getting each year. So the slope is how many cards he gets each year. So the 15 means he gets 15 cards each year. Cards each year. And what is the meaning of the number 40 in this function? Well, the 40 represents the y-intercept, which is the starting point. So the 40 represents he started with 40 cards. So he started his collection with 40 baseball cards. 57, to calculate the charge for bricks, including delivery, the Redline Brick Company uses the equation C equals 0.24B plus 25. C is the total cost. B is the number of bricks. What is the delivery charge? So what it's saying is the delivery charge. Well, the delivery charge, we have two things. We have a charge for bricks plus a delivery charge. Well, the bricks are changing, so the bricks represent the slope. Well, the delivery charge is our y-intercept. It's our starting point. It doesn't matter how many bricks we have, there's always going to be a $25 delivery charge, whether we get 10 bricks or we get 10,000 bricks. There's always that $25 delivery charge. So the delivery charge is going to be $25. That's our y-intercept, or the starting point. 58. Larry and Kent start saving at the same time for a new bicycle. That will cost $350. Larry starts with 72 in his savings account and can save $950 per week. Kent, however, starts with 17 and saves $12 per week. Let n represents the number of weeks that each will be saving. We write an expression for Larry. Alright, so if we go back and we look at Larry, Larry starts with 72 and $950 per week. So for Larry, he starts with 72, and so it's $950 per week, which n is our number of weeks, plus 72. And if we look at Kent, he starts with 17. Let's say it's $12 per week. So Kent will be 12n plus 17. And how many weeks will it take Kent to have the same amount of money as Larry? So the key thing is here is the same amount. So this is when they are equal. So what we want to do is we want to set our two equations equal to each other. So we want to say Larry is equal to Kent. So we say 9.50n plus 72 equals 12n plus 17. Now we can solve this. So we have n's on both sides. So we subtract the 950n. I'm going to write this over here. So I have 72 equals 12n minus 950 is 250n plus 17. Subtract 17 from both sides. So that will be 55 equals 250n, and we divide by 250. And 55 divided by 250 will give us 22. So N equals 22. So after 22 weeks, they will have the same amount of money. Who will be able to buy the bike first, Larry or Kent? Show how you determined your answer. Well, what we can do is we can see how long it will take each person. So if we start with Larry, we can say if it's 950N plus 72, the bike costs $350. So this is Larry. So 950N equals 8, 278 divided by 950. So 278 divided by 950. So it'll take Larry about 30 weeks to save enough money. So N is about 30. And then we can look at Kent, which is 12. N plus 17 equals 350. So 12N equals 333 divided by 12. 333 divided by 12. 27.75. So which number is shorter? It'll take Larry about 30 weeks. It'll take Kent about 28 weeks. So Kent will be able to get the bike first. And then 59, the graph below shows the number of gallons of water in a bathtub as a function of time. What is the rate of change? So the rate of change, well, this is going down from 120 over 8. So our slope, 120 over 8, which is, I should be able to do this, 120 divided by 8, 15. So our slope is 15. Slope equals 15. What does this mean in the context of the problem? Well, we know that the slope, it's y over x, and 15 over 1, and y stands for water in gallons, and x stands for time in minutes. So what's happening in here is every minute 15 gallons of water is being drained. So 15 gallons is draining every minute. 15 gallons is draining every minute. And then the next part, what are the meaning of the x and y intercepts of the graph? Well, the y-intercept is always the starting point. So that's a starting point. So we started with 120 gallons. We started with 120 gallons. And then the x-intercept is 8. So x-intercept is 8, and that means it will take 8 minutes till there's no water left in the tub. It will take 8 minutes till no water is left. Write a linear function for the amount of water in a tub x minutes after the tub starts. Well, the two things we need to know the slope, which we found in this first one, so the slope is 15. We need to know the y-intercept, which we found in this one, which is 120. So we put that together and we get y equals 15x plus 120. Or actually, it's going down by 15, so let me go back. It's actually negative 15 over 1. And that's represented by the draining part. So it's negative 15. So it's decreasing. So it's y equals negative 15x plus 120. And we'll stop here for this session of our review packet.